welcome back to my channel. So I had a request to do a date makeup, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get started. The first thing, I already washed my face. I'm gonna actually add some moisturizer to my face. So now I'm using this Palmer's Cocoa Butter. You don't have to use this if you don't want to continue using your own moisturizer, but that's just what I'm using right now, so I just thought I would show you guys. And I haven't had any breakouts or anything like that. So now that my face is moisturized, and don't mind my brows, they're a little bit red because I just did them, so they're gonna be a little bit red, but that's okay. I want to use this palette that I haven't used. I don't think I've ever used this palette, and it's the Morphe palette. It's the 350 Supernatural Glow palette. I'm going to prime my face. So the primer that I'm using is the same one that I used in my last video, is the e.l.f. primer. And I'm just gonna put that all over my face. Just kind of like pressing it into the skin. And then we're also going to be doing a little bit of color correcting. I see like a couple blemish there and one over here, one down here on my chin. I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal, and this you can find in your beauty supply store, and I'm sure you can get it online at Amazon as well. And then I'm going to go in with my foundation. So I'm going to use Anastasia Beverly Hills 355. Because this is a date makeup, we're going to apply the makeup a little bit more heavier than we would if we were just daily makeup routine. I look crazy, oh my god. Let's blend this out quickly before I scare people. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more of that foundation. Add this in the area where I need a little bit more coverage. And I'm using the NARS bronzer. This one is in Laguna 4. I'm just gonna use it to place the product, but then I'm gonna use my sponge to blend it out. When you pick up this product, do not pick up too much because it's very pigmented. Like, it's so pigmented, look. Like, it's so pigmented. So now I'm gonna go in with my sponge, and I'm gonna use a pointed side, and I'm just gonna blend that out even more. I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose, start in the bridge of my nose, and I like to work my way down. I like to bring it up into my eyebrow as well. I also like to take a little bit and bronzer and run it, and then I'm gonna add a little bit under here. You can also do a little bit underneath the jawline, and start at the back of the ear and come down. So I'm just gonna go in and use my beauty sponge and make sure that there's no hard lines. Perfect. So now we're gonna go in and we're gonna do concealer. And now I'm gonna add a little bit, just a tad bit here, and down the nose. Remember, this is more glam. Like, I'm going out with my man and I'm trying to look cute, trying to look good, like all the things, okay? So the makeup look is going to be a little bit more than normal. I mean, you can always tone it down if you want to. You don't have to do as much, but it's nice sometimes to, you know, dress up and get dolled up. It's cute, like, you know? So now we're gonna blend out the concealer. Everywhere else except for underneath the eyes, I'm gonna kind of do that a little bit later, just because I want it to sit for a little bit. I'm just blending out that under eye concealer. I'm going to set my under eye. I'm going to use is the Easy Bake powder. And I'm gonna add powder everywhere else that I had put the highlighter. So now we're gonna go in with our pressed powder, and I'm gonna apply that all over my face where we add the foundation. And then I'm going to go in with my bronzing powder. It's the same one that I got from the beauty supply store. I'm just gonna pat this into the skin. So now onto the next step. We're gonna do blush and we're gonna do highlighter. What I personally like to do, I like to put my highlighter on first, then my blush over it, and then I like to go back in with my powder and smooth everything out. I'm gonna use this Makeup Forever highlighter, and I'm going to put it on the top of my cheekbone, like right here. Put it on my nose, but more focusing in the middle part of my nose. And then I want to take a little bit and put it on the tip of my nose. I'm going to put a little bit at the top of my cupid's bow. Just add it here and here. And now we're going to add the blush. So this blush also has a little bit of shimmer in it as well. We're going to add that first, and then I'm gonna build on top of that. So I like to take it and I like to just, in a circular motion. I'm gonna add a little bit of this MUA blush, just a little tiny bit. And I'm just gonna focus it more at the front of the cheek. I like to come up here with my blush, like into my eye, like towards my nose. I'm gonna add some setting spray. I just wanna melt everything in right now. And this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills setting spray. So that's done. So that's gonna sit on the face and then just do its thing. Once we're finished the entire makeup, we're gonna do a complete set of the entire face. But now I just want the powders to melt in, kind of just sit on the skin and do its thing. I'm going to start on my eyes, and I'm gonna start by doing my brows. I'm gonna set my brows, and I'm using the Got2b brow glue and just comb up my brows so that it sets in place. I'm actually gonna use a powder to do my brows today. Let's look in the palette and see if there's anything I can use. Actually, yeah, but I'm gonna use this one. I'm using it on this angled brush. I'm gonna do the other brow and then we're gonna come back. So brows are done. Now I'm gonna conceal the brow, and I'm going to use the foundation that I used on all over my face. I'm gonna use that to conceal my brow. And I'm gonna take a brush like this, and I'm just gonna pick up the product on the brush, and I'm going to carve out the brow. And this is where you really get to shape the brow to the way that you like it. And then I'm just gonna use the sponge and just top it out a little bit. I'm going to actually use this eye primer. This is by P. Louise, and I'm just gonna use it on my entire eyelid. Place it all over my lid. Much at all. So the reason why I'm doing this is just to give me like a nice clean base when I go in with my eyeshadow. And then I'm just gonna set that with a very light shadow. I'm gonna use this shadow right here just to set it. I'm just gonna tap it on. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna use the one above it to set it. I'm I'm gonna do the same thing I did before I added the other shadow. So we're gonna start now on, I don't have the names because the names are on here, and then for me to keep going back and forth, like I can't be bothered. So I'm just gonna show you, and then if you have something similar to what's on here, then you can go ahead and use it. I'm probably gonna tape it to the back of it so it'll be easier for me to go back and forth and look at the names. I'm going to take this color here, that color there, and I'm gonna place that all over my lid. So I'm gonna use a fluffier brush for that, and I'm gonna just pick it up and I'm just gonna sweep it on my lid. Sweep that on the lid. That's such a pretty color. And I wanna drag it out a little bit. So I'm gonna build that up again, and I'm pulling it up. And I'm also gonna take that a little bit up into the crease out here. And then same color again, and we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. We're going all over the lid. Notice I'm not going too close in the middle, sorry, too close to the inner corner, and you'll see why in a minute, because we're gonna do something a little bit lighter there. So I'm gonna use that same color that we used for my brow here. I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna use it on the outer parts of my eye. So here, I'm gonna close my eyes and I'm gonna start blending inwards. It's kind of like in a pushing motion towards the front. And then once I have the majority of the product on the brush, I'm then gonna blend outwards now so that we elongate the eye. Bring it back in here, and I'm up into the crease as well to add a little bit of definition here. And you notice I'm focusing mainly on the outer corner of my eye. Now I'm gonna take what's on the brush and I'm just gonna move inwards towards the front of the brow a little bit, not too much. Do the same thing on the other side, pick it up. I'm gonna start here and I'm gonna feather it inwards. And then when I feel like I don't have as much on the brush, but enough, I'm gonna blend it outwards. We can go back in with that same shadow here that we picked up, the first one that we started all over the lid, and we're gonna just work that over the dark shadow on this side so that it blends together, everything fuses so that you're not seeing any lines. Now I'm gonna go in with a lighter shadow. So remember, we left the front with no products on it, or as little product as possible. We're gonna go in now and we're gonna add a lighter shadow so that the front of the eye can pop. So I'm going to actually, I like this shade right here. It's kind of like a little champagne color. So we're gonna add that little pop to the front of the eye. So I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna start at the very front of the eye and I'm gonna go inwards. And then I'm just gonna take that same shadow a little that we started with and just go back over it to blend that out. So now, quick and easy, the eye is pretty much done. I'm just gonna add a little bit of a highlight to the brow bone. I'm gonna go back in with my highlighter. I'm gonna take it on a small brush. I'm gonna pick some up and then I'm going to add it to the high point of my brow, blending it a little bit into the shadow, but not too much into the shadow. And then I'm gonna bring it around. And don't lift your brows when you're doing this because it's gonna change the placement. You just wanna see how it's gonna look when your eyes is like in its normal position. Now all I have to do is I'm gonna add an eyeliner and then my mascara and lashes, and the eyes is done. So I'm going to use the One Size eyeliner, and I'm just gonna add a tiny wing to the eye, and this also helps my lashes to blend together with my actual my falsies to blend together with my actual lashes. I'm gonna finish my liner and then I'll come back. Why does the lighting look weird to me? I apologize if it looks really weird. I don't know what happened. We are now going to apply our mascara and then our lashes. I think it's because I'm filming in front of a window and the light keeps going in and out, so I think that's why. Didn't do that before. So the mascara I'm using is the Essence mascara. My daughter put me onto this mascara and I love it. I love the way it separates the lashes and elongates the lashes. So if you're not a falsie person, like you don't like false lashes, or if you don't have lash extensions and you just want to do this, wear mascara, that's fine as well. But I just feel like when you have a look like this, you do have to, well, you don't have to, but it looks nice when you add falsies because it brings everything together. Just completes the look to me, in my opinion. I'm gonna add lashes now. So I'm just using these INV lashes. I think I used them in my last video as well. Now I think I'm gonna apply this off camera, so just give me 1 second. See how that just makes it look so much better, in my opinion. So now that the lashes are on, I'm going to finish up at the bottom of my eyes, and usually whatever I do to my top, I do to the bottom. So I'm going to do it a little bit in reverse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this dark brown color here. I'm going to get it on this little angled brush. I'm going to add it to the bottom lash line. And I'm going to come all the way in, almost to the front of my lash, the front of my eye, but I'm going to stop right there. So we're going to take this here and we're going to blend out the dark shadow. And then we're going to take that same champagne color and we're going to put it in the inner part of the eye on the bottom. So the inner corner here. Now we have an inner corner pop. And the eyes is complete, and we're gonna add bottom mascara because we cannot forget about bottom mascara. You can actually add some to the, if you need to blend the falsies with your real lash, you can add some to it as well. I like to go back with my powder now, and I like to get a powder puff, and that loose powder that I had, I like to pick some up, tap it off on the back of my hand, and then I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna set everything together, melt everything in. And this is it. So we're just gonna set our face. Make sure you don't get your eyes because we don't want to mess that up. And now we're gonna finish off with the lips. I'm gonna use this brown lip liner from Sephora, Frosted Chestnut, and I'm just gonna line my lip. And then I'm going to use this lipstick by Sephora. It's number 22. Love that. A little bit more spray. And now this finished the makeup look, so now I'm gonna fix my hair and then I'll come back and okay guys, so that concludes this video. This is my final date night makeup look. So if you guys like it, please don't forget to share, like, comment. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.